Hello everyone, so this is IELTS Face-Off Extra Talk. Today in the house we have a very special guest and I will let him introduce himself.
Hello everyone, I'm Khoa. I'm a businessman from Ho Chi Minh City, so it's my pleasure today to join the show IELTS Face-Off.
I'm sure that a lot of you already know who this guy is, but today we have a couple of questions for Khoa, okay? So first of all, Khoa, I know that you invested in a lot of startups. Do you mind telling us what's your favorite startup?
Wow, this is a really hard question. I think all of my startup I'm investing right now is my favorite. Because it's just like when you have many sons, you cannot say, which one is your favorite son or daughter, right?
So speaking of health, I know that you also really care about your health. You work out very regularly. So do you mind sharing with us about, your lifestyle?
My lifestyle, actually, okay, so of course, I think people need health to go work every day, to maintain the energy every day. So to me, my health is also my priority. So every day I try my best to like 1.5 hour for workout. So I try to eat healthy if I can. Sometimes I travel. I let myself to have cheat meal, cheat days. But if I have to be in a normal like daily life, then I try my best to eat healthy food that make my body feel better and also give me more energy so I can handle more work, more stress.
Besides investing in startups, investing in your health, what is the other priority in your life?
Of course, it's gonna be time with my family, and of course with my how to upgrade myself personally.
So what would be the one piece of advice that you want to give to the younger generations of Vietnam now today?
I think one piece of advice, I think the young generation of Vietnam, I think there's a lot of talented people that I know, very young, very talented, but they might have, they might need a little bit more confidence and practical knowledge. Meaning, okay, you can observe from people, you can read books, but it might not just theory though. How to bring it to practical, how to knowledge, how to find a formula for your own to make you differentiated, to make you have a, to stand out in your particular field. It's about formulas.
I see. So as an investor in a lot of education startups, do you provide any platforms or any startup that helped younger generation to practice to put things into reality?
I think I just I'm opening a school called Sumato. Sumato is a school that teaching kids from 5 to 15 years old coding and robotics. So normally, people think that coding and robotics is something very complicated, very hard to learn. And now, we prove that, kids as young as 5 years old already can learn. People can learn, coding language way more than even before, their own language. So something, it's just our fixed mindset telling us that coding is something so, different, so out of the world. But actually, it's not that hard. And of course, now it's a changing world. Now everything applies to technology. Technology going to almost every aspect in our life. So having a skill of coding or learning about new technology can help the new young generation of Vietnam can expose to the world easier and faster.
Soft skill is also very important. Like for Shark right here, he's really good at talking to people, managing people, and leading the teams, right? So can you share with us how important the soft skills are?
I think nowadays to be a good manager or CEO or company leader, you need a very high EQ.
EQ?
Not just IQ. EQ meaning you have to feel people. You have to understand people. You have to understand the public. Right? You have to understand how people react to your decision or, how they react in a certain way, to observe, right? From your employees, from your stakeholders, from your customer, from everyone. So then you have to have a very high EQ, so you can read the, I normally call read the strategy, you know, like more detail. It's not just numbers, it's
Feelings. And can we master it? Like, can we master?
We can practice it.
Practice, yeah.
I myself, not a master yet, but I'm practicing it. I'm practicing it every day.
So I would say that practice makes perfect, right?
I don't like the perfect word. So
Because there's
in
room
the
for improvement.
interview, I said I love being zero rather than being number one. Because when you always feel yourself as being zero, give you more motivation to upgrade yourself rather than being number one and then you just lay off, get lazy, think I'm top of the world and there's nothing else that I don't know about. So there's no way you can be a better version, with that kind of thinking.
I couldn't agree more with you because like even applying to me, like there's always room for improvement.
Right.
I wouldn't consider myself as perfectionist or trying to be perfect in anything because I know there's no
And
such
also,
thing.
and also being professionals, from the very beginning, you already put a big pressure on you
Exactly.
because you cannot bear the criticism. You cannot bear the people can see your weakness or your failures. You're afraid of everything. You're afraid of a lot. But being zero, there's nothing to afraid.
Yeah. So let's talk about future. What plans do you have for your future?
My future, I am honestly I spend very like least time on thinking about for the future. I'm more concentrate on the present, how to make myself today happy, healthy, doing the thing that I like, focusing on, keep pushing myself to the next level, keep pushing all of my company, my startup to the next level. I think that's a lot of energy already.
Wow. Take one day at a time. Yes.
Basically thinking of the very far future, not gonna help.
Thank you very much for your time today, and I know that you are gonna have a really big interview coming up next, so we're gonna see you in the studio.
Kind of nervous right now.
Don't be nervous, you are doing great.
And now put it off.
Yes. Yeah, thank you everyone, and I hope to see you next time.
Well, we're very happy to have you here, and I'm sure the audience is so happy to have you here as well. So audience, it's now time for you to be asking questions.
Hi everyone, my name is Tuyến. Now I am a student from Peking Academy. I see you many times on Shark show, so I admire you so much.
Thank you.
In the future, I think I will set up a convenience store like Circle K, but this brand made by me, made by Việt Nam. So can you tell me what can I do? Set up a store and a brand like this.
Right. Wow.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. I really admire your dream. You dream really big. But of course, we already have some Vietnam brand over convenience store, Vinmart,
Yes.
right? But I think that's a really competitive industry. First, it's about you have to have experience. You have to read the public behavior. They like 7-Eleven, like Circle K, like Vinmart, they're not selling things for no reasons. The size of the products, whether it's cakes, whether it's, what kind of drink they sell, what kind of food they sell, everything, they have formula, they have reason behind it. So my advice to you, if you really serious about your dream, then you have to go work for one of those companies to see how they're running, to figure out that formula. So to me, open one store is a very different story from creating a brand. If you just open one convenience store, you can open today or tomorrow with your family, or just hire a location and just buying some stuff, put it in, sell it, you call it convenience store. But it's not a brand. What's a brand? A brand is something everyone knows. So to me, convenience store industry is a super burning cash industry. Any convenience store that can break even, they only can break even when they come to a certain number of store. And normally that number is very big. as I know, average, they have to have at least 150 stores to be effective, sufficient, so they can break even. So before thinking of profit, you have to be prepared with you a big budget. That one, I need a lot of money.
All right, do we have any other questions? Yes, we have one more over there.
Hi everyone, my name is Hường. So I want to ask Mr. Khoa a question. I know that when you start up, you have made so many difficulties. So how did you overcome these difficulties?
Being the CEO or being the business owner, you only have to be ready with one thing. Every day you wake up, something happens. And you have to have solution for those things happening. I used to have a lot of difficulty in my startup career, investing career, and I have difficulty today too. But it's a part of the game. When we have difficulty, we've been through it, of course. We also have been through with a lot of emotion, right? Yeah. So it also trained us a lot how to get over it quicker and quicker. When you've been through a lot, and then it helps you to be more balanced, more experienced, so you can be easier for you to calm down yourself and give a better solution.
I love what you said, and I'd love to add on to some of that as well. You know, people often think that you have to go to school to know how to deal with issues, and you have to graduate from like a certain type of school to be able to do something. In my own personal life, and I've watched you, and I've watched so many other people that are doing business in Vietnam, like they start even before they even go to school, right? Even before they graduate. So you can start as soon as you think that this is something that you might want to do.
So it's lifelong learning. Like Phoebe said, it doesn't matter where you go to study, where you choose the place to learn, to upgrade yourself. But it's like how you learn every day. Life is not about how much money you get or how successful that you go to. It's all about how you experience your life, how you expose yourself to many situations, many places in the world that you can see the world very differently.
Okay, we have time for one more question.
Hi everyone, my name is Ha. I'm an English teacher, and I for myself also have an ambitious of setting my own business and English centers in the future. So I'm wondering, as busy as a businessman like you, how can you balance between your work life and your daily life?
I think if you can make your words as something really you're passionate about, really something that you can have fun with it, and then you don't have to find that balance anymore. Like today, if I come to the show, it can be my leisure time or it can be my working time. If I look at this as a really tiredness, journey, it's gonna make myself so tired. But if I look at it as wow, it's a new experience, it's a new adventure. Today I meet my Phoebe, right? After so many years watching on television, then I have a lot of energy, a lot of motivation, and sharing with you guys right here. We have difficulty in our life. But then, of course, at that point in time, we really suffering sometimes. We're really upset. We think, my God, it's killing us. When we look back at those incidents or those, event, we might be thankful. Because, it gives me a lot of information. It trains us, a better version. And one last skill I want to share with you guys is try to be focused. And this, I think a lot of young people not having it because you guys get distracted a lot. Distracted mostly by the phone, right? I know a lot of students, they spend their whole day in university, but they still fail. And there's someone only study 1 hour a day, they still have the highest score in school. What's the difference? The focus.
I'm so happy to have you here. I've seen you a lot on TV, and I've personally purchased from some of your businesses. So, it's great to have you here in person, and I'd love to talk to you a bit about how you make your investment decisions.
Right.
So, first off, how did you know you want to do business?
So, basically, I think I was born and raised in a very business-oriented family. So we born in a very poor family, but my parents, they like selling, buying very small stuff. So when I was a kid, my mom had a very small shop selling rice cake. In Vietnamese called bánh ướt, right? I grew up like as helping my mom and my dad managing that really, really small business. My dad trained me a lot by just analyzing, right? Why this coffee shop like happening? Why this restaurant winning? Why they losing? Even I was like 6 or 7 years old. So I didn't know much about business. I didn't know much about money or anything. But you know, those stories, day by day, is in my head. I studied abroad, and then I went back with my first business, my family business. After 4 years of running my family business, I started to create my own, you know, like a career.
You decided to invest
yeah.
in multiple different fields,
Yes.
and they seem, to a person outside,
Yeah.
they seem to be unrelated to each other sometimes.
Right.
What is the relationship? How did you choose for these to be your investments?
So I think as investor, as startup investor, what I try to create not just a successful startup, but an ecosystem of startup that can be successful. By that ideas and vision, I try myself in the last 5 years to create the ecosystem. So what kind of characteristic that I will invest in startup? I think first, it has to be very differentiated product or service in potential, right? Second, it's all about the team. They have to prove to me that they can really operating or running the company, even in a really small scale. And normally they have to survive more than a year. And third, the market has to be big because my strength, I'm not good at operation. I don't know how to make a flower bouquet. I don't know how to make a cake. I don't know how to make a suit. I'm more like a visionary guy. I can create vision for different companies. I can give them a lot of consultancy on finance, legals, public media, branding, marketing.
Mm-hmm. Now, what do your parents say about all of these things that you're doing and all of these plans that you have?
They never support me. Still, I was 35. Most of the Vietnamese business people in our parents' generation, they're like really focused. They believe in you only do good at one field with one company. You just focus on it, go big on it, and winning everyone. But then it's on me who would love to creating an ecosystem, who would love to try new things. So at the very first hand, they're not supporting because they don't believe in it. You know, after a lot of up and down time, now, you know, my fund, my liquid venture fund, you know, makes some momentum. But now my mom and dad want to invest in. So I think that's a really good sign because now we can start to speak the same voice after many years.
Now, there's a couple of, I think there's a lot of young people here in the audience who are interested in business, who are interested in investing. Some of them, they want to create this product, they want to change the world, they want to change how people live, right? But some others, you know, they think it's a good way to make money. What's your comment on that? You know, is that really a good way to make money?
I think every year I meet up with a lot of startups team, right? Most of them, like you said, want to change the world. But I only give them one command on that. Please change your neighborhood first. If you can change your neighbors, if you can make your neighbor buying your product or your service, and then you start talking about changing the world. You know, you don't have to think something so particularly haven't seen anywhere in the world to be successful. You only need to find out the new way of selling products into market, something just as simple as that.
What do you think are some of the skills that maybe the young business or young entrepreneurs in Vietnam, they lack, and that they should develop that as soon as possible?
I think first, they have to be consistent. They have to be humble, good listener. They have to read a lot. They have to understand the world. The world today changing like almost every second. You have to be hustle,
keep on going.
Keep on going. Yeah. We fail, okay, fine. Failure part of the game, right? Keep going, keep growing. You know.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's so important for, you know, when people fail, they come back up, or when people for people not to have excuses for things that don't happen to them, because it might not happen to them yet, but they just have to keep working at it, right? Yeah.